بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم أما بعد. So inshallah, we have covered a brief introduction to different types of proofs. Now we want to analyze them and say, well, how can we categorize them and look at them collectively in different ways and different aspects? Okay, so we have the dalil, we have our dalil here, and there are different ways we can analyze dalil. One is the strength of the dalil, like how strong is that evidence? Yes. Another way of analyzing the evidences is the orientation. And I will explain what orientation means. And the other is the source of the dalil. So all the dalil we mentioned before, the 8, 9, we can look at them in different ways. We can say, well, okay, you have Quran, Hadith, Ijma, Qiyas, Qawlu Sahaba, etc. So these are the list of dalil. But how strong is each one? We can look at all of it collectively and say the strength of the dalil. Number 2 is the orientation. What's the orientation? We'll discuss that in the next lesson, inshallah. And also the source. Where does it come from? And we'll explain that as well. And the key to remember this is what SOS, ship is sinking. Or so SOS. So SOS is a call for help. Yes? So we can remember this call. So when we have all the dalil, the key to remembering the different ways of analyzing the dalil is SOS. Okay. Now let's have a look here. Okay. Now we have a teacher. Okay. Now imagine the teacher is with the student, and the teacher says to the student, class is finished, you may leave. The teacher says what? Class is finished and you may leave. Now when the student hears this sentence, does he have any doubt that the teacher said this? Like he heard his own ears. Class is finished, you may leave. Now when he says this, we can say there's two things regarding this evidence. One is the strength in terms of the teacher saying this, that he is sure the teacher said this. Why? He didn't find it written on a piece of paper somewhere and he don't know who wrote this. It wasn't a Chinese whisper, like 20 people saying it in between. It wasn't one of his classmates who always pranks him saying it to him. He heard it directly from the teacher. So now he is sure the teacher said it. Yes? And the next thing we also know is when the teacher said class is finished, you may leave. There's no real it's very clear what the teacher's intended meaning is. We are no longer going to have any more class, and class is finished. So finish. You understand? So we can say here, the first aspect of the second aspect, the meaning, what the word means, what the teacher's word means. This is called dalala. What's it called? Dalla yadullu dalalatan. Dalla yadullu dalalatan. What does dalalatan mean? Dalla, to denote, to show. So the way the word shows its intended meaning is called dalala. That's why, for example, we done it in al-sughra and al-wusta. Al-ismu kalimatun tadullu ala ma'nan fi nafsihi or fi nafsiha. So tadullu denotes. So the teacher's word has a meaning. That meaning is called the dalala. And the surety of that information is called thubut. What's it called? Thubut. So we have dalala and we have thubut. Thubut is the proving that thing has been said, that thing has been done. That's called thubut. Thabata yathbutu thubutan. And then you have dalala, dalla yadullu dalalatan, to denote. What meaning do those words denote and give? Okay, next. We have another scenario here, same thing, but on Friday, the teacher says to the student, class is finished, I will listen to your lesson tomorrow. So now again, what do we have in here? We have the thubut is 100%, because that person has heard this directly from the teacher's mouth. Class is finished, I will listen to your lesson tomorrow. So this word, he is 100% sure of it, thubut, that the teacher has said these words. Does that make sense? Are you following me so far? However, on Friday, we know that class is from Monday to Friday. And Saturday and Sunday are what? Holidays. You following? So when the teacher said, I will listen to your lesson tomorrow, regarding the dalala, are we 100% sure of his dalala? Of his intended meaning? We could say, well, yes, I know the teacher said, class is finished, I will listen to your lesson tomorrow. He's sure of his thubut. But in terms of his dalala, we're not sure if he meant tomorrow as you have to come into class tomorrow, and there's going to be class tomorrow. Or we're not sure if he meant tomorrow as in, next day we have lesson. Do you understand? So now the thubut is there, same as it was. We're sure of the thubut, but we're not 100% sure of the dalala. What's the meaning of the teacher's statement? Is everybody following? So we have thubut and we have dalala. Do you understand two words? The two key words are what? The thubut, the way that meaning has been proven, that word. So any piece of information, how it's transmitted, is it proven and established? That's called the thubut. Is it either been proven properly, not properly? That's called thubut. And the meaning it denotes is called what? Dalala. What's that called? Dalala. Everybody following? Now, along with this, there are two other words I want you to know. The thubut can be definite, and it can also be indefinite. Yes? Definite means what? When you're sure 100% what was said, what is intended. So for this, we use the word qat'iyun. What word do we use? Qat'iyun. What does qat'iyun mean? Qata'a yaqta'u qat'an is to cut something. Now, if you've got a piece of cloth and you cut it, now you can stitch it back together, but it's not going to be the same, isn't it? You've made a firm, like a decision that this is where it's going to be cut. So qat'i is like firm, definite, sure. And dhanna yadhunnu is called, dhanna yadhunnu means to think. It's called dhanni. So anything definite is called what? Qat'i. And anything indefinite, not 100% possible for interpretation, possible he never said it, is called indefinite, dhanni. So now if you look at it, there are four words. Category one is these come together. And these two come together. Thubut is the way the proof has been established. Dalala is the way, intended meaning of that proof. And indefinite is called qat'i, something 100% sure. And dhanni, obviously the dhanni is not 100% sure. That can vary from very sure but not perfect to very unsure. This is in a spectrum, it can vary. Yes, it's 100% basically. And it's going to vary from like 10% all the way to 99%. Yes? And you get varying levels. Now that we've said this, if you look at this example, when the student heard the teacher saying, class is finished, you may leave, we would say, well, it has a thubut and it has a dalala. Correct? Is the student sure the teacher heard the sentence? We say yes. He heard directly from the teacher's mouth. So now this thubut is what? Qat'i. Is he 100% of the meaning? Yes. So the meaning is also going to be qat'i. Understood? In the second example, what do we have here? We have a dalala and we have the thubut. In the thubut, he heard it directly from the teacher's mouth. So now this thubut is also qat'i, 100% sure. But the dalala, what's the intended meaning of the teacher? We're not 100% sure. Does it mean tomorrow, meaning we have to come on Saturday to lessons? Or does it mean next day we have class, which is next Monday, but he just said tomorrow by mistake? So now the dalala, we're not 100% sure of the meaning. This dalala is going to be what? Dhanni. Is this making sense to everybody? Everyone following? Okay. Yes? So we say here, sure. We say here, we're sure the teacher said it. This is qat'i. Unsure of its meaning. That means that the thubut, this is the thubut aspect, is qat'i. And now here, the dalala aspect is what? Dhanni. Okay. The third example, the teacher said, class is finished, you may leave. He heard it. Then he told his friend, teacher said, class is finished, you may leave. He told his friend that he said, teacher said, class is finished, you may leave. And then he heard it. Now, in terms of the meaning, let's look at the dalala. What do you think the dalala of this word is? Is it dhanni or is it qat'i? It is qat'i. Why is it qat'i? It is qat'i because we know class is finished, you may leave. We understand what this means. In terms of the thubut, what would you say regarding the thubut? Is it qat'i or is it dhanni? We say it is dhanni. And depending on how, is he a joker? Is he a prankster? Does he mess around? Does he always make mistakes? Does he make things up? Is he a liar? Depending on all of these things, by the time he gets the information, for him it may be dhanni, it be thubut be dhanni. It could be a very, if he is, let's say he's honest, clever, understands the English language properly, understands the language, no pranks, he doesn't do pranks, he doesn't lie, not a liar. Yes, he has the same qualities. Then you say it's not 100%, but the dhann is the dhanni, but a very high dhanni. And if one is a prankster, he doesn't know the language properly, sometimes he gets mixed up, he sleeps in class, you see, then the dhann is a lower level. But it's not 100% without doubt, because he may have misunderstood, he may not have said class is soon finished. It's a slight possibility. So the dhann can vary from 99% to like 1%, but it just depends on how sure we are. So in here, because of multiple, like he never heard directly, he said to him, and then he narrated to him, he narrated to him. So because of those layers in between, it comes dhann. But however, dhann doesn't mean, oh, you don't believe it. It's just a matter of who the people are in between, the way they're saying it. Are they laughing? Are they joking? Can you trust that person? Has he lied before? All of these different aspects we study in Usool, Hadith, etc. later on. But for now, we get the idea of the thubut being dhanni and the dalala being qat'i and dhanni. Everybody following so far? Yes? And now, so if you look at this here, we would say, in regard to this, we will say that the unsure teacher said, not unsure, I'm not even sure if unsure is the right word. There's a possibility the teacher said something different, he paraphrased it, it's a slight possibility. So this is called dhanni. This is the thubut. The thubut is dhanni. You say it is now dhanni thubut. What is it going to be? Dhanni thubut. And sure of its meaning, you say, what's the dalala? What do you say regarding the dalala? What's it going to be? So regarding its dalala, what would you say the dalala is? G. What do you say about the dalala? Is it qat'i or is it dhanni here? Oh, like when we say class is finished, you may leave. So when you have those words, are those words, the dalala of those words, is it clear or is it unclear? Are you sure of that meaning? Class is finished, you may leave. What do you say regarding that? Is it qat'i or dhanni? I would say it's qat'i. Because class is finished, you may leave. Why are you saying dhanni? Why are you saying dhanni? Yeah, qat'i is certain, yes, correct. Qat'i is certain. Yeah, okay. Now here, another example. Class is finished, I will listen to your lesson tomorrow, and it's Friday. Yes, it's Friday, yes, it's Friday. And he said to him, who said to him, who said to him, who said to him. Now, the thubut, what's the thubut? In terms of thubut, what's this text going to be? By the time when it reaches him, what's it going to be? When it reaches him? In terms of thubut, what is it going to be? Did you tell me? What is it going to be? We have here person 1, 2, 3, and 4. By the time it is person number 4, what is it going to be? In terms of its thubut, qat'i or dhanni? So it's dhanni thubut. This text is dhanni thubut. And in terms of its meaning, what's the meaning? The dalala. Class, on Friday, the teacher says, I will listen to your lesson tomorrow. In terms of its meaning, what is it going to be in terms of its meaning? Qat'i or dhanni? Yeah, so you're probably thinking, well, does he mean tomorrow, Saturday, or does he mean Monday, Saturday? Tomorrow, Saturday, tomorrow, Monday. What does he mean by tomorrow? So now, if you look at it here, if something is certain, definitive, you call that qat'i. Qata'a yaqta'u qat'an, to be certain, sure. That's called qat'i. And dhanni is something which is what? Uncertain or non-definitive. It's not 100% sure or non-definitive. Yes? And then you have two aspects. The thubut aspect being established and the dalala aspect what meaning it denotes. So you have thubut and you have dalala. And now based on this, the dalil can have, thubut can be, what two types of thubut can we have? You tell me. What would you have two subcategories of thubut? We're going to have what? We're going to have qat'i and we're going to have dhanni. And in terms of dalala, we're going to have also what? What are we going to have? Also we're going to have what? We're going to have what in here also? Qat'i and dhanni. Are you following? Does that make sense? Yeah? Okay. Now, next example. Inna Allaha la yadlimu mithqala dharra. In terms of thubut, what's this verse going to be? This verse, in terms of thubut, is going to be what? What's it going to be? Qat'iyyu thubut. Why? It's the Quran. The Prophet ﷺ transmitted this to hundreds of companions, and hundreds of companions transmitted to thousands of Sahaba. Sorry, to thousands of Tabi'in. So like, it's not one person heard it and he paraphrased it. Everybody is narrating the exact same words. So we're 100% sure that the Prophet ﷺ, he narrated these words, Inna Allah la yadhlim mithqala dharra. Now what does this mean? This means here, indeed, Allah does not, dhalama yadhlim, you know what dhalama means? To oppress, to wrong. Mithqala means the equivalent, the weight of a dharra. Dharra means a seed. In terms of its meaning, is there any confusion in its meaning? So what kind of meaning is this going to be in terms of dalala? What's it going to be? Qat'iyyu dalala. Okay, you have qat'iyyu dalala. So this verse is qat'iyyu thubut. We are sure that the Prophet ﷺ said this. We are 100% on this. And we're also very clear in the meaning. Allah does not oppress anybody the slightest. So this verse has, in terms of thubut, it is qat'i. And in terms of dalala, it is also qat'i. Understood? Another example. We have here, وَالْمُطَلَّقَاتُ يَتَرَبَّصْنَ بِأَنفُسِهِنَّ ثَلَاثَةَ قُرُوء. Yes? So after a woman has been divorced, she will hold herself. She will have to be, before she gets married again, she will have to wait for ثَلَاثَةَ قُرُوء. Now the word thalatha, is the word thalatha, okay, this verse is going to be what? In terms of thubut, what's it going to be, this verse? It's going to be what? What's it going to be, this verse? What's it going to be? Qat'iyyu thubut, because from the Quran. Qat'iyyu thubut. Now what does the word thalatha mean? Is that qat'iyyu thubut or qat'iyyu, sorry, dalala? Is it qat'iyyu dalala or dhanniyyu dalala? The word thalatha. Why is it dhanni? What does three mean? What else can three mean apart from thalatha? What else can three mean? Is there any other meaning of three other than three? Like what else can it mean? 3.5, 3.2, 2.5? What does three mean? Is there any ambiguity in the word thalatha? So what's it going to be? Do you understand what I'm saying? So what's it going to be? Qat'i or dhanni in terms of dalala? It's going to be qat'i. Yes, qat'i. Why? Because thalatha means three. There's no like two meanings to this. It's just three. Three means three. If I say get me 3 pens and you get me 2, I say, well, it was clear cut. I said to you get 3. Why did you get 2? Why did you get 4? I said get 3. Right? 3 answers. You wrote 2. Like it's very clear. 3 means 3. You understand why thalatha is qat'iyyu thubut? Qat'iyyu dalala? Is that clear now? Yeah? Yes? Okay. And the next word we have here is quru. What does quru mean? Quru has two meanings. Quru has two meanings. One is the menses, the time when a woman is in a menses. That's called, I'm not saying that correctly. And it also refers to the period between, or the time. Let's say the time between two menses. It has two meanings. It can be the time when she's bleeding, and it can be time when she's stopped bleeding until the next period. So is the word quru, in terms of is it going to be qat'iyyu dalala or dhanniyyu dalala in this verse? And tell me why. What do you think it's going to be? Qat'iyyu dalala or dhanniyyu dalala? And tell me why. G, what's your opinion? What do you think? Yeah, very good. It is what? Dhanniyyu dalala. Because we have to then, well, maybe there's other context to help us determine the meaning, but on the onset, at the beginning, the word quru, when you see it by itself, you say, well, this has two meanings. What meaning is intended here, we have to analyze later on. We'll do that later on. But this is dhanniyyu dalala. Okay? So qat'iyyu thubut, qat'iyyu dalala. Qat'i means firm, 100%, no doubt. Dhanni means not at the same level as qat'i. And the levels can vary from very, very strong thought to very, very low, meaning almost like, yeah, I don't believe it at all. It can differ. Dhanni. And thubut means the way that proof has been established, the way that statement has reached you, the way that action has reached you at the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That's called thubut. And dalala is the way that word shows its intended meaning. You understand? So we have four terms. We have qat'iyu thubut, qat'iyu dalala. Then, well, you can have different variations. You can have qat'iyu thubut and qat'iyu dalala at the same time. So this one verse can be if dhanniyu dalala and dhanniyu and qat'iyu thubut. The top one is qat'iyu thubut and qat'iyu dalala. You can have different variations. You understand the four keywords from today's lesson? Everyone following? Yeah? Any questions? سبحان الله وبحمده سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك ونشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت ونستغفرك ونتوب إليك